Have you ever envisioned a life for yourself that was stress-free and filled with peace of mind, but you find yourself constantly racked with fear and worry because of the day-to-day life challenges that you face, like your relationships, like finances, or work issues that you have to deal with? Well, one of the main keys to living the life you see in your mind that you deserve is to overcome your own negative thinking. Hi, I'm Steve Burlack, and like a lot of people out there, I too used to deal with having a very negative mindset and sometimes dealing with debilitating fear and worry because of my own life challenges that I faced. For instance, when I was a junior and as an undergrad, I was told by my counselor that I owed my university $12,000 and that not only would I not be able to graduate, but I wouldn't even be able to register for the next semester unless I paid that money in full. Now here I am, I'm a kid from the South Bronx. I didn't have a large network of people with a spare $12,000 who could help me with finding that money right away and push me through. I didn't have anybody who could give me advice on what to do. And I was humiliated. I was upset. I was angry because I had to go back home and I had to explain to my family and friends why I couldn't even graduate from school. And what made it even more frustrating for me was because I knew it wasn't because I didn't have the intellect or the desire to graduate school. I simply didn't have the money. And worse than that, I couldn't even figure out how to get around it and make it past to the life I saw in my mind. And worse than that even was that I started to change how I saw myself and how I thought about the issue. To give you an example, I actually started thinking, well, maybe I'm not graduating because of a lack of finances. Maybe I'm not graduating because I'm not supposed to. Maybe I'm supposed to just stay in this poor neighborhood that I grew up in. Maybe this is where I belong and there's just nowhere else in the world for me. And then one thing changed. One thing. I actually remember the day I started thinking about the stories my grandparents used to tell me when I was a kid sitting on their knee. And they talked to me about the life struggles that they had to deal with. And if any of you have ever had elders in your family that told you stories like this, you know what I'm talking about. They're the folks that said, they walked uphill, both ways to school in snow that was over their heads, right? And you laugh at that. But then I started thinking, they were telling me stories that were real, like how they were dealing with the Great Depression, standing in food lines for hours at a time, right? Just trying to survive day by day. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized, hey, wait a minute, not only did they make it through that, but they thrived past that. And guess what? If they can do it, then I can do it too. And so I knuckled down. Right? I joined the army like my grandfather and my dad did before me. I served my country and I paid off all of my debt. I went back to work full time. I went to school while I worked. And not only did I graduate with a BA in history from the City College of New York, but I graduated with the highest GPA in the history department. And then on top of that, I became a Fulbright scholar and I studied Andean and Afro-Peruvian history and culture for 5 weeks in Peru. And then not just that, I became a Malik Shabazz Human Rights Institute scholar and I studied the history and organization of the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. All of this from a kid from the South Bronx who once thought that the only place for me was a poor neighborhood and that I had nowhere else in the world to go or to be. So my circumstances didn't change. It was my mindset first. So how do you change your mindset? How do you change your negative thinking when you're constantly facing debilitating issues that are real, like your finances, like work issues, or your relationships? Well, guess what? That's why I'm here. Click the button below, find out more about the live webinar that I'm really excited about hosting for you, so that I can teach you with a step-by-step guidance on how to get to the life that you envision in your mind that you deserve, right? That you really deserve. I'm really excited about it. Click the button below. I'm fascinated with your stories. I want to use my stories to get you past them so that you can finally elevate your life. Click the button. I look forward to working with you.